like pop in if they can and
Yeah.
hopefully check for what's the word I'm looking for? Audio feedback.
Yeah.
Pull it up on my phone. Back and close. What, Katie? What's the word I'm looking for? Audio feedback. Yeah. Pull it up on my phone.
Ah!
Katie's got it on her phone, so.
I know.
Oh, yeah, the latency. That's going to hit in a little bit. Why'd it play that part twice? Ah, there it is. Katie's got it on her phone. Okay, because now we're picking that up in that, so you're going to have to mute yours.
This is more music.
Over and over and over and over
it
and around and
messes
around and it
things up in
goes.
Hey, there's a Michelle sighting.
Ah! Run away.
Why did you just...
Because I could.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, how you doing?
Where are we live at anyway?
Should be on YouTube.
Hmm.
No, don't.
They're live, Michelle.
Should be. Oh, there we go. Okay, that goes there. There used to be a way to do the...
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I want to add the chat from YouTube to this, and I can't remember how to do it.
Oh, that I can help you with. I know how to do it on Twitch.
Menu, select stream, switch account. No, I don't want to do any of that.
I really hate the fact that I'm facing away from you. It's like I don't want to talk to you.
Well, that's just where you put your camera. So, we have to live with the decisions we make.
Do you want me to watch the chat? Because I'm already on it and I have my headset in.
No.
I'm literally sitting here on it. I'm right here, sitting on the chat.
I haven't even posted that we're live yet, so no one's going to know. How to see YouTube chat in OBS. First, go to your YouTube, click on the pop-out chat option. YouTube.com. What?
Nothing. I enjoy Brandon's song.
What? We're breaking down anything and everything Utica City FC related. This is the Keeper's Corner.
Oh, well, that's also dumb.
What?
So, my camera is actually facing the other direction, and it's Skype that's flipping
Gotcha.
it. So,
your stream is a pretty simple.
Skype's a jerk.
Blah, 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 blah.
Hi, Matt.
Hello.
We're live, by the by.
Boo-doo-doo. View my channel. Yep. Mute.
Hey, Steve. Good to see you. Welcome in.
Who said hi, Matt?
Matt can't see the chat, so it's just me.
I'm trying to figure it out.
We're trying to get this working, so we'll get there. Bear with us for a few minutes.
Chat. Okay.
Steven says, great to see you doing a live podcast.
I don't care.
Oh, God.
Peanut gallery.
I'm big and you're tiny.
How did that? I didn't even.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even in OBS. I don't know why that happened. Add.
It's all right. It's fine. I understand. You know.
Text, not window capture.
You're just putting the town fool on full screen and just making yourself small. I get it. It's fine. That way you can hide behind my window when you need to.
That's way too big. Can I crop that? We're just figuring everything out here for the first time.
Yeah, it could also be that we just don't want to talk about the games. No, that's not entirely true, but
I mean, it's not that we don't want to talk about them. It's that let's try window, not the whole window.
we don't want to relive the weekend.
Display? No, I don't want to capture my whole display. I don't know. We'll give up on finding the chat.
I'll help you with that at some point.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. There was a way. It probably disappeared because I haven't used this in over a year. So
Yeah.
I had a whole bunch of updates to do, and that took a little bit of time.
I mean, there's programs like Chatterino or just using Streamlabs where you can just get the chat box and just pull it right from YouTube. Like either one of those should typically work, but
there.
you know, we're just kind of throwing this together tonight, so it'll evolve.
That's why we haven't even officially started.
Yes. We haven't started the
show.
SOGs. Yes.
No, the SOGs already happened, and a lot more of them found the net for the other teams than did for us.
Okay. Why you gotta hurt me like this? Like, what did I do to you?
Pain is how we know we're alive, or something like that. I don't know.
Where's my headband? My headband is still attached to my hat, and I'm not taking it off because it looks
Why does my
nice.
window keep getting shrunk? Oh, I bet you it's because I minimize Skype and then open it back up, and then...
I didn't even notice your window gets... oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Your baby window. He's so cute.
Lock it. Lock it. No more alterations, hopefully. Why the title isn't showing up either, I don't know.
Camera control. I wonder how I can flip this. I mean, I could really mess with you and start making my camera go all
Michelle,
over the
I
place
did
and
not steal
tilting it
this
back
cup.
and
It
forth.
found its way into my house.
That's what happens when you drink on Chaperone at 72 Tavern.
And we get a couple of these every week at 72, so
Those are at the beer cart. Well, yeah.
people forget them all the time.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. I was going to say, I'm sure it's not exactly a uncommon occurrence.
No. All right.
No.
Go ahead and add a new layer. Text box. As we figure this all out and take our time. This is as much a test for us as...
Yeah, I was going to say, it's...
There is 5 people watching.
Nice. That's more than I would have expected, honestly. Because
Two of them are your spouses.
What?
Shh. Just because you're in the same building / room as us. Buildings / rooms.
You going over there?
Katie's being mean.
Yeah, I mean, that's par for the course.
All right, let's try. Yeah, no problem. 300 maybe? Still too big.
Keep it up in Peanut Gallery. I'll make you start drinking again.
Please don't.
What? Drinking? Why?
She's threatening you with saying inappropriate things that make everything uncomfortable for us.
All right, I'm
don't.
leaving.
Down to 3.
Goodbye.
Hold on. I mean, there will be a real show after this, but I'm just trying to figure out why one of the things that I put into OBS doesn't want to show up. The title for just, like, hey, episode. Delete that. That's fine. Save. Episode title. Export. So I'm making one over in my image editor, and we'll upload it on my own. Are you having a dance party, Brandon?
I enjoyed the amount
Numa,
of
hey.
you guys dance, like talking, and then, oh god, that's not dancing.
That was the Numa guy, Kate. That was dancing. God, not knowing who the Numa guy is. Do 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 do. There. There we go. Look at that. It showed up for me.
Katie, are you judging me?
There's so much latency.
That's
I know.
fine. You judging me?
Am I hearing bells?
Ding
Or is that
dong.
Oh yeah, my ears are just ringing. That's
I'm
all.
not doing anything.
Okay. I think we're good if you want to actually start this. How you feeling?
Ducky.
Let's go.
Whack, whack.
We're breaking down anything and everything Utica City FC related. This is the Keeper's Corner podcast with your hosts,
tell me if you
Matt
hear, like, the
Sterling
intro
and
start
Brandon
playing.
Brooks. Let's get into it. Katie. You guys hear? Okay. Let me know when I'm clear. Oh, I'm definitely clear already. The intro's done. And then we'll go over here, hit record, and hello. Welcome to another edition of the Keeper's Corner podcast. This is our first attempt at a live in some time.
Hodly
Matt
doodly.
here with Brandon.
Hodly doodly.
Howdily do indeed. Why did my image blow up now? What the...
Why do you? Oh God, where? I guess I'm gone. Bye. I am itty bitty. I'm just gonna hide behind yours now.
I don't
Goodbye.
I don't know what...
Wow, you are a monster on my.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow. Oh.
Okay.
Sterling broke it.
I think I fixed it.
Yep. Sterling
We'll see how
broke
long it takes to show up on your end, but I think I fixed it. The joys of technology.
Yes, also known as the show.
Well, that's fitting, seeing as how these games went this past weekend.
But you see, we had the show, and then we had the sequel, the show 2 even shittier.
Well, at least you're censoring yourself. 'Cause I don't want to have to go do this.
Was I pretty
that's
good
pretty
there?
good. I don't want to go do this in post, so I appreciate it. We got 2 episodes to talk about. One of which, or 2 games to talk about.
2 games.
This episode.
Yeah.
Look, as I told you before, and I tell everyone in stream now, I've been a little under the weather. I'm kind of spacey from cold meds. I'm gonna do my best.
Aren't we always under the weather, though?
Okay, I know you're being literal
I mean-
on that and trying to make like a dad joke, and I'm frustrated.
Don't make me break it out. I will. I will.
This is why we didn't go live before, because we always get sidetracked.
But it's fun.
Denial, blah blah blah. We got our Milwaukee game to talk about first. Yeah.
No.
Yep.
No.
Woo!
Actually, I'd rather talk about that one than the other one. So.
I mean, if we're being honest. Yeah, of the 2, it was somehow less painful, but still not a...
It wasn't a
No.
fun weekend, okay? Let's just
No.
cut to the chase. It wasn't exactly a fun weekend to be a Utica fan. Things did not go our way, and there's some
a
work
lot of
to
people
do.
piled on.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Unfortunately.
But we'll talk about this game first because, well, it happened Thursday night. Utica failed to win in Milwaukee again. They have yet to win at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee Panther Arena. And it was a 9-7 score that was decided in the third quarter.
Yeah. I mean, okay, explain that to me.
What?
Why you think it was decided in the third quarter?
Utica got shut out in the third quarter.
Yeah, fair. It's still only 2
Uh-huh.
goals, though, with 15 minutes remaining, so...
And did Utica score more than 1 goal in a row at any time?
No.
Did they ever cut the lead to a tie game after that?
No.
Did they, like...
They got 2 shorthanded goals,
Uh-huh.
okay? At least they did that.
Mm-hmm. And how many blue cards did they have?
Lots.
Yeah, we...
Specifically for, a certain... Forgot how to count.
I mean, yeah.
Although-
Look, yeah. Let's get into this our regular
Yeah.
way with your stat that tells the story, because
No. Listen, okay. I don't want to do a stat that tells a story. I don't. Because it's just I think the main stat is literally what we just talked about. Too many men.
too many
Twice.
men indeed.
I mean, okay. The one I'll be honest, I don't quite remember what happened with the first one that Gordy served.
Just too many
I
men.
Don't remember. I didn't really. Yeah. The second one was a bit of a rookie mistake with Keaton stepping back onto the field. Now, I'm not 100% sure what would have happened if he had just if it had just hit him in the ankle and he had just walked into the bench. I don't know what would have happened there. So maybe you know a little bit better than I do. I don't. I wasn't 100% sure.
If he just stayed on the bench, nothing would have happened. But he came back out and played the ball. And then played it to Gordy. If he'd played it anywhere else and Gordy had been able to hop off, I think he would have been fine. Because Gordy was still behind the dotted line. But he played it to Gordy.
The person that was literally subbing in for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And
yeah. So that one I completely understood kind of what happened and what I had a feeling what should have happened, but I hadn't really asked that question, so I didn't know for sure.
Yeah, that was.
No.
I mean, the first one led to a goal. The second one happened there. Almost. Yep. The second one led to a goal.
Yep.
Like you said, yeah, we had 2 shorthanded goals, so we were at least even on the night in our special teams goal differential. But
the shorthanded goals were cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. Shorthanded goals were cool. They were nice. They didn't necessarily make up for the rest of the evening.
Like you pointed out in the chat that we had, we had the shorthanded goal, and then they scored 31 seconds later, and we had the shorthanded goal, and they scored 11 seconds later.
Yeah, it was never never a shorthanded goal that was unanswered shortly after.
Didn't ride the momentum.
It was always shorthanded goal, equalizer, and that's not 100% on us. That's also just Milwaukee being like, hey, you're not going to take away our momentum. Sorry. So I get that. But we didn't. It just, yes, it felt, obviously we attempted to stop it. It just, I felt like we got caught watching the ball a bit too often in some of those situations.
Yeah, my stat that tells the story is I already touched on it, the fact that Utica never scored more than 1 goal in a row. We've said it before. Yep. This is a game of streaks, and no momentum. Every time Utica got something going, they, either coughed up the lead, or Milwaukee answered and shut down any chance at a comeback.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, initially it was doing pretty well. It was goal, back and forth. Like, this is going to be a good game. And then it was goal for Utica, 2 for Milwaukee. Goal for Utica, 2 for Milwaukee. Goal for Utica, 2 for Milwaukee. Over and over and over again.
Yeah. Which, both of our points kind of lead into my play that changed the game. And that was the Ricardo Carvalho power play goal that brought it back to 7-5, 30 seconds after Utica had brought it to within 1. In the fourth quarter, early in the fourth quarter, the penalty kill unit completely fell apart and failed them.
Yeah, that was nail in the coffin, for sure. That's... At that point, I mean, that just took wind right out of the sails completely, and that was pretty much all she wrote. So,
yeah, it was. Don't get me wrong; it was a good game, but it was not a well executed game from Utica.
No. And I think one of the biggest issues that I had the entire game, passing just felt, in some instances, it was nice and crisp. In other instances, it was not putting much on it. It was intercepted. It was... it just overall felt like they weren't putting much on it. And it led to so many takeaways. I mean, against Harrisburg, you might be able to get away with some of that, because you'll be able to catch up. You'll be able to punish them, or you'll be able to stop them from punishing you. Milwaukee is not like that. And for that matter, neither is Tacoma. we'll get there, but same things, both games. Just getting off target passes, or not putting enough on them, or putting too much on them. It just never felt like the team was in sync at all. Now, do I necessarily think that at least this game was grab your torch and pitchforks? No. But there is improvement to be had. And this showcases it, whereas in the past few games, we haven't been able to see those issues because they have been fairly dominant performances. Now we get to actually see the issues and learn what needs to be corrected. So I'm sure there's plenty of studying going on.
Yeah, it's
in between suicide runs.
Some of those errors, like they're what you'd expect when the Metro Stars or the Lancers came into the league for their first season. And it was a whole bunch of outdoor guys learning for the first time. Yeah. It's not like any rookies except for Cole Stevens see major minutes. And even then, it's not major minutes. It's in short bursts. But the rest of these guys, they're veterans. Like, even Keaton's mistake. He's in his second year of playing. That was a rough one to watch.
Yes, it was. And, it... I do have one thing that I'm going to bring up. And it's not bad towards the players. It's towards you. Not you, Matt. You out there that I'm looking at right now. You. Don't blame Wilkin. Stop it. Bad. Wilkin played one heck of a game in Coughlin's absence. Yes, he got caught ball watching a few times, but he still played one heck of a game. And I think part of his problem was if I had to guess, he was probably already starting to come down with something.
Yeah, because as we found out, he was sick and didn't start Saturday night, and we'll talk about that game.
Oh. Yeah, I don't mean to allude into it, but it makes a little bit more sense what happened on Thursday with him on Saturday. It just made a little bit more sense once we had that little piece of information of, hey, this guy's playing sick. That's why Coughlin wasn't playing.
At the same time, we can't deny, even at his best, this team isn't at the same level as when Coughlin is out there. And you see that with everyone in the league. Earlier in the year, I was saying, without Pollo, Texas isn't a serious contender. Well, they've worked out whatever contract issues they had. He's back. They are absolutely a threat. And yeah, Wilkin is a great backup, but there's a reason he's a backup. And it's unfortunate that, Coughlin's illness had to hit when it did instead of against Harrisburg.
Yeah, it was wow. My brain just stopped. No, listen, he's definitely one of the best backups in the league. Is he the best? Maybe not. He's definitely one of the best backups in the league. And he was definitely he definitely showed why he's a good backup. He had mistakes. He had some really good shining moments. And to answer Katie's question of, do you think the outcome would have been different if Utica had had Andrew in goal? I think at minimum it would have been a 1-goal game. I don't know which way it would have gone. It's very possible that it would have gone the other way. But I think it would have been a 1-goal versus 2-goal. I think it would have been tighter, and we wouldn't have had those streaks, potentially.
Yeah, I'll say this. I mean, it's easy on paper you look and you go, well, Coughlin's got a 7-10 or something like that save percentage. 20 shots reach goal. In theory, he would have saved 14 of the shots.
Yeah.
In theory.
In theory. That's if he's at 100%, not playing partially sick.
But
so
I think the biggest difference Coughlin would have brought this weekend is he kind of has taken over the he's always been fiery, but he is certainly the kind of guy that will get on players for making dumb mistakes and ball watching.
Yep.
And at times it felt like we really could have used that this weekend.
I have been amazed that he has not been made a co-captain after all these years. I mean, he deserves it. You don't really see too many. Actually, I don't think there's any captains that are keepers, but he should be one personally because of the not only the veteran presence that he brings to the table, but the coaching that he essentially also brings to the field as the game's going on. Like, we're always seeing him yelling things out, letting his guys know what's going on, giving call outs, things like that. You don't really see that from Brian or Julian, for that matter. Julian,
Not that we got to see
he's
a whole
very
lot of
green.
him.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But and that will come with time with Brian as well. But right now we just don't see it. And so, if having Andrew on the field, yes, that would definitely have helped. I don't 100% believe that it would have necessarily changed the result, for the simple fact of there was problems both on the offense and defense. There was a lot of times where we weren't capitalizing on things. We were giving too much away. It might have stopped some of the, it might have stopped some more of the shots, but I don't know. I don't think it would have, I don't know if it would have fully changed the outcome personally.
Yeah. I mean,
other than unless that extra outside force that you mentioned about what he brings outside of just blocking the ball. Unless a lot of that came into play, which very likely.
I don't know what it was with this team this weekend, but there were stretches where they looked like this, contender that we thought we were seeing for the first 6 games, and then there were stretches where they just looked completely lost out there, and there's far too much veteran presence on the roster for that to happen.
Yeah, they're definitely lost. Was a very good way to describe it. Definitely just kind of, like we said, ball watching, giveaways. Just, we said they needed to clean it up, and they didn't.
I mean, all this isn't to take away from the Wave or Willie B, who had a fantastic day in goal. I mean, you ask if Andrew makes a difference. I don't know if he does, even with Willie B having the game that he had. 27 saves on 34 shots, a .794 save percentage. That's a fantastic day.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't just that Utica played bad as to why Milwaukee won. Milwaukee played a fantastic game all around. I mean, Willie B is always fantastic. Oh, well, almost always. I mean, obviously everybody has their bad days, but Willie B is consistently a great player. And, as much as it pained to see, being able to see like Ben Raymond, being able to see him score, that's always nice. It just sucks when it's against us. And yeah, just overall, they played well. But what was one of the keys that we were supposed to do to make it so that they didn't play well?
We both agreed that because he was off to a slow start, what Utica needed to do defensively was force Ian Bennett to carry the team. And he had a goal and nothing else.
Yep.
Coming from a guy who's averaged like 2.5 points per game for his career, they limited him, which is what we had said to do in the past. But this year we were like, nah, change it up. Put all the pressure on him.
Put all the pressure on the others to give it to him. Yeah.
And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, all their goals came from different players, and they had 11 different guys collect a point, whether that was an assist or a goal.
Yep. Yeah, they spread the love. They spread the love around the field, and I don't know if it's just we weren't expecting them to do that, and we expected it to all go through Ian, but yeah, we just didn't approach it well, and you can see that.
Yeah. I'm gonna mute for a second. I gotta blow my nose. Like I said, I got this cold.
Ew. I don't want. No, stop it. Bad. Stop looking at me. Ugh.
I'm sorry about that. Stupid sinus infection with the weather change.
He's not sorry.
Yeah, but I guess we talk about making one player do everything versus the whole team. That's a pretty good segue into the next game. What?
You forgot one thing. There is a positive to take out of this game.
What?
500.
What about 500? I told you I'm spacey.
Frank.
Oh, yes. Look, I was going to mention that later, because also Mo got his 100th.
Yes, but we were talking about this game. We needed at least some sort of positive coming out of this game. And it was Frank getting his 500th career point.
Yes.
Correct? Not goal,
yes.
Point. Getting his 500th career point, which was amazing. Congratulations. Well deserved. And you said, I missed the other one.
Mo NDI collected his 100th.
I'm like, I'm dense too, so. And Mo getting his 100th. I mean, those are two positives at least. At least we have something coming out of this game to feel good about. There wasn't much else other than that, but,
So that takes us to Saturday night in Tacoma. I mentioned it could be a trap game on the show last week. And then we talked about how this should be the opposite. They really don't have a ton of threats. Their biggest one is Nick Pereira. You needed to man-mark him and not let him get an inch of breathing room and win this game for Tacoma. And then they proceeded to give this man enough space to develop land and property on. He could have built himself a 4-story house at times, and he had 3 goals and 4 assists, and his performance is my stat. He had 7 points in a game.
Yeah, you can't really say much else. I mean, I don't even have another one. I mean, Pereira had a spectacular game against us, and it hurts. It hurts to say it, but he really did. I mean, congrats to him for just an outstanding performance.
Yeah, he showed why he's the reigning MVP, the two-time MVP, and absolutely dominated. I mean, Juice Cox had a great game himself. He'd been off to a slow start. But
yes, but here's the thing. He had a good game. Every single one of his goals came from Nick.
Yep.
All of them, all three were assisted by Nick Herrera. Every single one. We said, I had originally said that, we needed to kind of be aware of Canale. Nick did not use Canale this time. Nick uses Juice Cox. Doesn't matter. I say he used them. That's not exactly what I mean, but you get the point. Fed him ball, he score. Done. Over and over and over. And when he didn't feed it to him, he was scoring himself.
It was
pain.
And you said you didn't have a stat for this one. Well, I'll give you one. Utica.
You just gave me one.
I will give you one. What was the goal differential on power plays? How many shorthanded goals did we give up?
2.
Okay. How many power play goals did they have? Okay.
2.
So how many power play goals did we have?
Goose egg.
How many power plays did we go on?
3.
And did we at least?
I feel like I'm in class.
Did we salvage things with any shorthanded goals? Okay,
yes.
So if we had one shorthanded goal and we gave up 4 goals on special teams, what's the goal differential? God, I feel like -3.
25%.
-3. How many goals did we lose the game by?
-3, but 3. I see what you're going for here. Yeah, it would have been a tight game if we, had cleaned up special
what was the
teams.
other thing we talked about last week that this team needed to do if they were going to win on this road trip?
Dogs!
No, it was stop the dumb mistakes.
Yes, which is
the opposite of what they
both
did.
Games.
The
yes,
opposite.
Yeah, it was definitely. I felt like we did more dumb mistakes than we did last week.
Like we better find out that half this team has this head cold that's going around and is making them spacey, because otherwise we have a serious problem.
See, that's what I have 2 thoughts on that. I have 2 thoughts on the mistakes. Number one, we're so used to playing 2 teams. Not that they're bad teams, just we're so used to only dealing with 2 teams. Because neither one of them is necessarily subjectively bad. They're just having a bad season. I mean, Harrisburg is more prone to having bad seasons than Baltimore, but they're both having bad seasons. So you get used, you play the same team over and over and over, and you get essentially muscle memory going against the same 2 teams. So I mean, you say that, maybe not, but you step on the field and it's like, okay, I know kind of what to expect.
Yeah, this strategy worked every time. Why is it not working now?
Yes, and it's because you have other teams that can recognize what you're doing and counter it much easier than the teams you're used to playing. So, like I mentioned, this is going to be one heck of a learning experience from this past weekend, and I'm just hoping that we have some really positive takeaways for the team from this weekend that will lead to better things down the road.
Yeah, I guess. Hey, do you have a play that changed this game?
Okay, I'm not doing that one. I feel like I did have one. And now I've lost it. Yeah, I can't think of it. Mainly just because I just wanted to burn the whole thing from my memory. I guess. Do you?
Really, I have the fact that Pereira, after we tied the game, Pereira opened it back up to a 2-goal lead for Tacoma within 4.5 minutes.
Okay.
In the fourth quarter, when you tie the game, you need to be playing your best defense. Utica let their best player find the net twice in a row.
Right. Yeah, after that, they literally just ran away from it, or ran away with that. I mean, 4 straight unanswered goals after that one. So definitely, yeah, I guess that would definitely be a play that changed the game. Definitely wasn't one that we wanted to see.
Goal, momentum had started to swing Utica's way, and that just killed it.
Yes, yeah, it did. Yep, just constantly kept us at not even a fingertip. It was at our fingertips reach, and then it was an arm's length away, over and over and over again. I was really, really trying to think of a positive one, like a positive play that changed the game, and I don't think I have one, because every time that we did make one that I felt maybe was starting to swing the game, shut down. I mean, it was nice when we scored twice in a row, because that was a complaint that we had in the game before. We weren't able to go on any streaks, and I'm like, oh man, we're starting to come back. We're starting to swing things back in our favor. We're starting to build momentum. We're getting there. We're still in this. And then, yeah, the platform just dropped out from underneath me, and that was it. Off to the races.
Yeah, I mean, I usually after a weekend like this, you'd be like, well, at least nobody got injured. But poor Julian. Brian's sick. Julian gets his first career start, his first career game in the MASL, where he gets on the field, and he takes an absolute laser to the cheekbone in the first quarter.
Yep.
Less than 10 minutes in, and gets dropped like a prize fighter.
Yeah, he took it right on the cheek, and just, you could see the lights go out. I mean, he was just palms up, hands flat. He was out. So it was, yeah, that literally took the wind out of everyone's sails for a good few minutes, until he was sitting back up at minimum. And you could tell when he sat back up, when people were actually starting to clap, like, okay, this guy's not dead. But
no, it was like he took a left from Pacquiao.
Yeah, he just it. What I hated the most, though, was that it kept being shown. Now, I get it. You want to show replays to let people know. But the chat hated it. Like, the Twitch chat was like, please stop. Stop showing it to us over and over. It hurts us. It physically hurts to watch this guy get nailed again and again.
Yeah, and it was a scary moment. Because...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean...
You could tell immediately he got knocked out. I'm surprised they let him back in the game at all. And then he hits his head on a diving save backwards. And I don't know if he got knocked out again or just kind of like got his bell rung on that one. But that was 2 head injuries.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that is the limit in the MASL, which is why he was forced out.
I was going to say the refs and the trainers were just, forcing him out. I mean, I was really starting to believe that we had a Scott Sterling on our hands. If you don't know what it is, look it up.
No relation to me.
And no relation to you. But definitely likes to save the soccer ball with his face. And I hate the person that introduced me to that, by the way. They showed it to me right after it happened, and it was just a bad joke right at the wrong time. But it at least, took a little bit of the edge off watching that. But anyway, yes, I'm very glad to see that I'm honestly glad to see they took him off, because the way that he was acting, he wanted to, he was going to stay out. Like he was fine. He was saying he was fine, nature. But I also think that, part of the reason he probably wanted to stay out there was because he doesn't get to see much playtime. So of course he wants to suck up as much playtime as he can, which I don't blame him for. But man, not a smooth night. Not a smooth night for Julian at all. He had a good save percentage.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish he had gotten that head injury, because I would have liked to have seen what he could do.
Yeah. Now, I will say, Wilkin had a much better night taking over for him than he did in Milwaukee.
Yeah, once he got loose, it was a better night. I think.
Yeah.
I think the first goal he allowed, it was kind of like, here we go again feeling. Yes. And then he got loose and settled in, and yeah, like you could see he was rosy cheeked the whole game.
It kind of felt like he was just like, you know what? I'm sick. I don't care anymore. I'm throwing everything at it. Let's do this. Like, he just kind of said, screw it, and went with it.
Yeah.
Which, more power to him for that. But no, both of them, for how bad that game went. I mean, they both floated what was it? Wilkin had like a 66%, and I think Julian had 60, 63, 64, something around there. So, I mean, both of them had a very decent game. Now, if you took both of those stats and, had them on one keeper, it would probably be really bad. But at least, actually, no, the average would still be like 60, 64. So, I mean, they still, as keepers, they had good games. Unfortunately, it was yet another instance of everything in front of them still did not bring everything to the table. And sorry, I don't mean to keep talking over you. If you want me to, I'll
I was just gonna say,
up.
you want to know what's a crazy stat about those two? Is Wilkin played almost twice as much as Julian, and he only saw 4 more shots reach him. Tacoma came out firing, and then they slowed right down.
Yes, they did. Yep. Yeah, they did. They did take their foot off the pedal a little bit, but we never had our foot on it. Yeah. For the most part. We were kind of set on cruise control and just kind of going through the motions. Now, kind of talking about what you were mentioning before about, I don't know if these guys are sick or not. I'm starting to wonder that, because, I mean, one gets sick, there's going to be more. And, if you're around Andrew, you're hanging around with him. I mean, Wilkin, he's getting sick. It's going to spread. So I'm very curious to see how many of them caught the ick, basically, and just had a hard time staying at 100%.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to some of the guys after we get a chance, but
yeah, I think
otherwise this is just completely unacceptable from not even a fan perspective, like from the coaching perspective. Hewerton, I always do that. I read it in my head. Everton. I know it's Everton. My brain sees it. It doesn't matter how many times I tell myself what it is. I see it written down. I read it as Hewerton, and then I go, no, Everton. You know it's Everton.
It's Everton, you ninny. He's just gonna come. He knows where you work. He's gonna come after you and just.
Yeah, it'll probably happen Wednesday night because it's trivia Wednesday night.
I know. I know.
I'm
hoping to be there.
That where I work, for anyone that didn't know.
Yes, you did. Dummy.
Again, cold meds, spacey. But, you have all these experienced players, guys that you've brought in yourself, and you have 2 shorthanded goals allowed in one game. The game before, you have 2 too many men on penalties. Just not even rookie mistakes, thoughtless mistakes.
Yeah.
Or in the case of the shorthanded
mistakes,
goals, an inability to get back.
Yes, that was, for me, that was the big one in the second game. What we typically do, what we've seen this team do multiple times, which is the quick counters. Yeah, we got it done back to us. And it highlighted certain things like, the fact that Nelly can't necessarily get back fast. He can run all game. Don't get me wrong, but he can't get back fast. And that's not me saying like, hey, he's slow. That's not me saying that at all, because he's not meant to be fast. He's meant to be a good defender, and he does that well. But I mean, they were beating out Logan, or at least tied up with him. They were beating back Mo. They were beating back, Keaton, even though he's not actually technically a defender. I mean, they're beating all of our fast guys back. And it just highlighted that, hey, we do the counterattack we can do the counterattack most of the time, but we have a hard time dealing with it. And so that's going to be something that, just another thing that we need to work on. We just, again, this game highlighted a lot of things that we need to work on as a team.
Yes.
And just more things that need to get fixed.
Yeah. Just a lot of things to be fixed, and we're a third of the way into the season. And I would say one of those things specifically, because it kind of killed us in both games, is, it saved us a bit in the Milwaukee one, but also killed us, is the special teams. At this time, Utica's 2 goals on 10 power plays is the worst in the MASL. Harrisburg's is better. St. Louis is better. The Dallas Sidekicks, who have 1 win, have a better penalty. Now, they don't...
I think you would have been better off saying Harrisburg, considering Harrisburg has 0.
No, they're 2 for 8. Oh, yeah, on wins. 0 wins. Sorry. You're talking wins. I thought you were talking goals.
I was like...
the Dallas Sidekicks,
you talked about how Dallas had 1 win.
Plays.
Yeah. No, I was just specifically talking about the fact that, Harrisburg has no wins, but they are better than us on special teams.
And then you have our penalty kill, which is at .417, 7 for 12. By that rate, it is also the lowest in the MASL.
Yep.
Not.
Yeah.
Like, I tweeted it out during the game on Saturday night. I was like, yeah, at least last year when the penalty kill started being a problem in the first half, we weren't giving up shorthanded goals. And, you look at last year, our power play, we were converting at 45%, more than twice. And our penalty kill was at 64.
Which was a decent stat. We were at a decent level for penalty kills. Wasn't great, wasn't amazing. And I mean, I think we've talked about our power play issues every single season.
Our penalty kill was like top 5 in the league last year, as was our power play. Okay, top 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. We were a pretty good special teams unit last year. By the end, you take into the fact that how tough it was in the first half, it tells you how much better it was in the second to raise it that far. What happened in the offseason? I could think of a certain player that was there on penalty kills and is no longer here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that one person would have made the difference. But going into going into a more offensive focus versus versus having a being a glass cannon works sometimes, but we're just seeing why we needed to sign a defender mid-season last year.
Yeah, we've kind of gone full circle to where we were a year ago. And the only difference is we played teams with worse defense than us to start the year.
Yeah.
Now we're playing teams that have a decent defense, and we're still scoring. 7 goals a game is nothing to sneeze at. That's a good offense.
Oh, no.
But they're keeping pace or beating us. And yeah, it's 2 games. It's a small sample size. Who knows who's sick? But it's a warning sign.
Yes. Like, as I mentioned earlier, it's not the time to, grab your torch and pitchforks. We're not at that point. This is just
you might want to make sure that your torch is, wrapped with a nice rag that's been soaked in a flammable liquid in case you need to light it, and make sure your pitchfork's sharp. But you don't need to have them in your hands yet. Just make sure they're ready to go.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
We talked about it in the preseason. We were like, boy, this team needs some defense. Hopefully we get something. And it's not that we were ignoring it in the first couple games, because we kept talking about this could be an issue, but it looked like the offense would be able to make up for that.
Yep, be able to balance things out.
And it probably could if they would stop the dumb mistakes that cost them easy goals.
Right. Yeah, because the dumb mistakes, the lazy passes that
the
we've
ball
seen,
watching,
that the ball watching.
Go back and watch that Raymond goal where it smashes off the glass and floats up over the heads of 3 defenders, and they're all just standing there watching it go over them. Not one of them is moving towards where the ball is going.
Now, to be clear, it wasn't just ball watching on defense, because there was. I specifically remember. I don't remember who shot the ball, but all I remember is ball bounced off the boards, right into the middle. There was 2 of us standing there, and we just watched it roll by and out of the box. Like, all it would have taken is one big step, or even just stick the ball out, stick your foot out. And it's very, very possible that could have been redirected.
Guys were
That's all it could have potentially
glued to
taken.
the turf.
Yes.
It's
It's a reality check for these guys, is what this weekend serves. And it's a warning of, hey, if you don't do something now, there's going to be more to come. And it's going to be a persistent problem versus something that can be quickly corrected before our next two games. And then we can bounce back. Because if we can bounce back, at least if we can at minimum bounce back in our next game, that can still show that we are a serious contender this season. But it's going to be a tall ask.
Speaking of this next game, it is at Kansas City Friday night at 8:05. Kansas has leapfrogged Utica in the standings. They're now atop the table in the East, and I believe in the MASL just in total points, since the arena that San Diego plays in was flooded due to a burst water main, and they had to postpone their game.
I mean, even if that had happened, Kansas City and Monterey would have still been atop the standings for most points.
Okay. I didn't know how that would affect San Diego, where they are in total points.
Yeah, no. Kansas City is 21. Monterey is 20. So even if San Diego had played and had won, they would still be tied with us at 18.
Let's see. This game's going to be broadcast on the main MASL Soccer Twitch, as well as Canela TV.
Okay.
And like you said, it's going to be a tough task. Kansas City is 4-1. They're only at home. Their only loss came against Texas. In that game, they sat Neto for the first 3 quarters, trying to rest him after playing the day before at Mesquite Arena. And they were without their two of their best defenders, I should say, because they have a great defense all around. And Van de Griff and Berto Palmer. You know, two of the 3 guys that won Defender of the Year in the past 3 years.
Yes, they definitely have a good defense. They have a good keeper in net with Neto. You know, we've always seen him be fairly good in net. And then they've also got their offensive weapons. Zach Reggett being chief among them.
MVP favorite, Zach Reggett.
Yes. So it's going to be a tall task. I mean, these guys, they have let's just say that they have, at minimum, a much better power play unit than we do. Yeah. I mean, they are at 50% right now for their power plays. So they are much better off than us. And their penalty kill is just only a little bit better than ours. But, I mean, they actually have a lower goal percentage, goals for average. I mean, we have an average of 9, but that's loaded. That's inflated a bit. So,
they're on a 3-game win streak. And, you talked about Neto. He's having a career year right now. I mean, I think a lot of that has to do with the defense in front of him being much better than he's ever had.
Yes.
Pretty much every year you would say, oh, San Diego's got the best defense. Kansas City could give them a run for their money this year.
Oh, yeah.
His 3.87 goals allowed against is a full goal better than it was last year, and almost a goal and a half better than his career average. And his 778 or 777 save percentage is the highest of his career, almost a full 7% better than, his career average is 708.
Yeah, so like you said, he's having a good year, and so it's going to be hard to knock down the walls of defense and Neto. Now, I still believe that this team has the weapons to do it because we have so many different offensive weapons. We have the capability to do it. We have to be crisp. Plain and simple. This team has to be clean going into this. The passes before it was something that needed to be cleaned up. Now it has to be. It is a needs to happen, has to happen in order for this to be a competitive game. If we make those same mistakes again, the same things are going to happen. We mess up on those passes, it's going in our goal. Regardless of who is in goal for us, because we don't know yet. We don't know if Andrew's going to be healthy by the time that this game rolls around. We don't know if it's going to be Wilkin. We don't even know if it's going to be Julian.
Yeah.
I mean, they have, if you look at the preview on the MASL site, it lists Andrew as goalkeeper. That doesn't mean that he's going to be goalkeeper this week.
That's just,
that's
just our starting goalkeeper.
Right.
719 save percentage, great. Especially considering the defense and his 4.73 goals allowed. Like, that's almost a full goal per game more than. And against, I won't say that Neto has done it against strictly better competition because they've played Kansas City a couple of times. And I think they caught Milwaukee at the right time in their season opener. But it's significantly better.
They're also going to be coming at us hard. We're the ones that knocked them out last season.
It's a revenge game for them. Something that Utica just was on the wrong side of again.
Yeah. So, it's just we have to be crisp, we have to be clean, and we've seen this limited defensive unit be stellar this year. There's been a couple of games where it's like, man, we're getting hammered back on defense, but people like Hundell, Nelly, I mean, we have seen these guys do well on defense. We need that. We need everybody to be playing at 110% going into this game.
Yeah, it's a game that defense, I think, more than offense will decide. Because both teams have stellar offenses, but which team shows up defensively, that's what's going to make the difference. You want to give us a prediction?
No, I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Sure.
I don't know if I want to because I don't know if I can give a favorable one. I'm a little scared going into this one, simply based on what we saw this past weekend. I just have a very sour taste in my mouth from this weekend. How about this? Let me preface my prediction with what we need to do. I'll say 3 things that we need to do, like we did last time. Number 1, Reggett needs to be regulated. That's number 1. Shut down their lead scorer. Don't completely focus on him, but shut him down. Number 2, Defense needs to be on point. Hundelt, NDI, Nelly, Logan, that whole defensive unit, as well as those that assist on the defensive side of things, need to be on point. And number 3 is cleaning up the passes. Cleaning up, can't be behind, can't be in front. On point, targeted, and not slow, not fast, just crisp. If we can do all 3 of those things, this is an 8-6 game. Utica.
Boy,
If we don't, it's 8-6 the other way.
Okay.
At least. So I'm giving you I'm giving you 2 predictions. We do those 3 things, it's 8-6 us. We don't do those things, it's at least 8-6 the other way. At least. If not 10-6. So I'm giving you both.
Well, here's what I'll say. We are 8 games into this season. And the mental mistakes seem to be getting more frequent instead of less frequent. And until I see that change direction, I cannot trust this team. I can't. I want to, but I can't. And if you make those mental mistakes against a true contender like Kansas City, on their home turf, where they are averaging almost 5,000 fans per game, which, just for the record, is 1,500 more than the second most in the league, Utica.
Yeah.
They are going to feast. And this one could turn embarrassing. As if these last 2 weren't already bad enough. If everything goes perfectly, I'd still give Kansas City the advantage just because I trust their defense more right now.
That's fair.
And in that case, it's like an 8-7 win for them. But if we make these same mistakes and we're playing from behind, it could be a rout. I'm talking 10-5.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of why I went, 10-6, 8-6, 10-6 at minimum. Is if we continue to make the same mistakes, it's going to be a blowout.
That's going to be awful.
Yeah.
And if you think Utica's only beats bad teams, they're not real contenders, was bad after this one. If you go into Kansas City and get trounced, not only will that come, but it will be deservedly so.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. If they come out of that, if they continue to just not make any changes whatsoever, and go into and come out of that game, or go into that game exactly the way that they did going into this past weekend, it's going to be. It is. It's not a prediction; it's a spoiler that we will get destroyed if we go into this coming game exactly like we went into this weekend, regardless of whether we're at full strength or not.
Yep.
So, but I can't. For me personally, I can't lose faith in these guys just after 2 games. I mean, I know, obviously they're not giving you much to go on.
They're playing in the show me state, and they better show me.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I personally can't lose faith in these guys after 2 games. I can't do that. I keep saying, don't grab your torch and pitchforks. Maybe have them sharp and, like you said, have a properly soaked oil, gasoline rag wrapped around your torch, but keep the lighter in the other room for the time being. After this weekend, that might change, but my faith is still in the guys. My faith is still in our boys. They've pulled out some crazy stuff in the past that I never thought in a million years they would do. I'm looking back at the San Diego game that I don't know how we stayed as close as we did with those guys and almost won it. I mean, these guys, they have something. And I want to sincerely believe that all they need to do is just draw on the talent that they know they have, keep their head in the game, keep their collective mind firing on the same cylinders. That's what they need to do. And I will believe in them until they truly give me a reason not to.
Oh, you talk about... hold on, I want to go find something really quick.
I've apparently started something. I don't know what I've started, y'all, but I've apparently started something, and now he's run away from me. So that was just me. You're just dealing with me. That's all you got. Just me.
Yes.
And listen. He's bald. I mean, what?
Okay, sorry.
Hi.
So,
welcome back.
You're talking about a team with talent that feasted on lesser competition and then struggled when they were challenged. Because they had talent, they rested on it. And when the time came, they didn't perform. Let me see. I don't know if it's showing up on the stream at the moment, but okay, that keeps disappearing. There's a coffee mug, commemorative, that was given to everyone on my high school soccer team the year that I was a junior. And the reason is because we went undefeated that season. We were number 2 in the state. We had a bye in the first round of sectionals. And then we were beaten on our home field 2-0 in the first game we played against a team that wasn't from the Valley. And it's not like we were winning close games. 4-0, 5-0, 4-0, 5-0, 7-0, 5-0, 5-1, 5-0, 6-0, 6-0, 6-0, 7-1, 6-0, like blowouts in outdoor soccer that you don't see.
I was going to say 7-0 in an outdoor soccer game is crazy.
Yeah. And
ask him how long ago it was.
Yes, this was 2008. And you know what? I was a bench player and I had one goal. My only goal that I scored in high school on this one came in the 7-1 game at Notre Dame.
It's more goals than I scored in my soccer career in middle school because I didn't play in high school. I was just a shot putter in high school. It's about all I did.
I mean, I was never a good player, but...
You tried.
Yes, I tried, as Peanut Gallery says. I put in...
But that's what we need.
Yes.
That's what we need.
But we had a player who averaged like 2.5 goals per game in outdoor. And then he missed from inside the 6-yard box twice in our first sectional game. And not like the goalie saved them. Like they went over the top bar. Because we rested on our talent. Which this is what I'm worried Utica did through the first 6 games. If they focus up and they put their mind to it, yeah, they can win in Kansas City. It's going to be a tight game. But I need to see that before I'm going to, prep the trophy space for the Ron Newman Cup.
This is the nut up or shut up game. This one. Not the next one. Not the game a month from now. Yes. This one. You want to prove people wrong. You want to say that you are, in fact, a contender in this game. This is the time to do it. Otherwise, they're right. And the same people that have said that we are pretenders have also praised some of the efforts that we put out there. And like the fact that you've started to make believers out of some people, this is the time to truly enforce that. And
like even if you lose this game, because we know how hard it is to win in this league on the road, but it's close, and you clean up those mental mistakes. There's nothing to like. Okay, we lost a tough one, but it's one thing to get beaten, and it's another thing to lose the game yourself.
Yep. I have to do this because it's in the chat, and I have to do this. Okay, I'm done. You're welcome. Hey, listen, it's in the chat.
Now, yes.
I have to do it. I have to. It's in the bylaws. It's in the bylaws.
we know him as the FC fanatic.
Shh, don't blow his door. Don't reveal things.
How do you ban someone from a YouTube page?
No.
Darn.
And then
can I bring up one thing on that note? I'm sorry. I don't mean to sidetrack. I would like to think that the people who watch this are not the people that are typically talking smack in most of the games. But I do just want to let let people know, and if I can get the message out here, then maybe it'll carry across the league. If you get banned on Twitch, it's not just that you can't chat, okay? It's that you can't watch. I don't know if people know that until it's too late. But I've had to watch a few people get banned on some of these streams. Like I'll be watching and all of a sudden it's like, somebody gets a timeout and then they come back and then they're gone forever. Twitch made it so if you get banned, you cannot watch these games, which means if you can't watch a certain channel, MASL, the main channel, as I've watched some people get banned from, you can't watch anything on that channel, any games. So don't be dumb. Be respectful. Be smart. Yes, some little, smack talk, quibs back and forth. That's fine. Don't personally attack people. Don't say stupid things in the chat. And that way you can continue to watch this amazing sport that we all get to enjoy. Just a PSA. Just don't be an idiot. That's all I got. I needed to get that out while we were kind of talking about it, since Peanut Gallery mentioned banning people. Yeah, so I just needed to put that out there. Anyway, I'm done.
Regardless of how this game goes, there's another one Saturday night. Utica plays in Kansas City, and then I'm assuming is going to be driving across the state.
I would imagine so.
St. Louis.
It depends on how they play. They might end up having to walk.
Now, the one thing that's going for them in that is St. Louis plays Friday night as well, but also they're at home both nights. And yeah, okay, if they lose in Kansas City, if they clean things up, even if they clean things up and lose, this is hopefully a game that can right the ship. Kansas City not scoring a whole lot, less than 5 goals per game.
Hold on. When did you say they play?
Friday night in Kansas City, Saturday in St. Louis.
Yeah, and then the other St. Louis plays on Friday night, and then also obviously plays on Saturday. So both teams play on Friday, and both teams play on Saturday.
their power play is a little bit better than us, but it's not great. But their penalty kill is pretty good.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, their biggest issue is scoring goals. William Eske does most of their scoring. He has 10 goals. And only Robbie Christo has 10 points. No one else on the team has that much.
Yep.
You know, they have Paolo and Nat, who, you know, his usual typical good save percentage, but is giving up almost 6 goals per game.
Yes.
And a big part of that is, hey, they don't have that great of a defense either.
No, they do not.
Shots get to him. And we know that our team can pepper the goal. So, look, I like Utica to right the ship in this one. It's a team below you on the table, a team that you should beat. And you have the depth with your roster where you should be able to pull a couple guys from the last line and have them sit out at Kansas City and then play fresh at St. Louis.
So, even though this is you could consider this a bounce back game, which if we do, lose the Kansas City game, I still think even if we do drop the Kansas City game, we better be dropping it well. Otherwise, this is not a bounce back. This is just, hey, you better win this one because you should win this one. And I agree with our good friend in the chat that I definitely miss Toby at this point in the season. He would have been an amazing addition for at least even just the Kansas City game.
Speaking of players that we don't have availability to, I don't know how true it is, but I saw in the chat for United Elite on their games over the weekend that Segura may be back in town later this month playing for them in preparation and hopes that his visa gets cleared later in this season. So he'll be in game shape.
Boy, that would be nice. I definitely, before we, predictions and all that stuff for St. Louis, definitely like seeing a lot of our lesser used talent, or the talent that we're just frankly just not using this season, being on Krasnick. I mean, being able to see Steve Merker, being able to see Gomez, the guys from the Combine that I'm blanking
DJ
on.
Albert and Abdullah
Orozco. And Orozco.
Ricky Orozco.
Being able to see those guys actually getting game time because they're able to play on M2 really helps us if we need to call on them, if we need to get that deep in the roster where we're calling these guys up because we need them to be able to perform. Now they're not going in completely just... They're not going in completely blind, essentially.
Yeah.
They're able to get play time on the field instead of just practice. Because there's a big difference between practice and real games, and right now they're able to get that, and that's good. So I really like the fact that Utica's got this M2.
I can't be the only person that was thinking about the AI practice interview. We talk about practice, man. Practice. We ain't even talk about games. We talk about practice.
I hate it here. I want to go home. Oh,
yeah,
wait,
those guys have been performing. Although the biggest performer on their team so far is Tyler Forbes, who's got 9 points through 4 games. Gomez had a hat trick over the weekend and has 6 points through 3 games. Former UCFC player Damon Almazan, who was part of that trade for Mo Ndiaye, is back playing for Krajisnik. He's got 6 points through 4 games. Jace Berger, who in college he played defense at community level, then was pushed up to midfield, and it looks like now they're suiting him up for forward on M2. He had 3 points over the weekend. That or they just have him on there twice, so I don't know. So maybe he has 5 points in 3 games. I'm not sure. But there's a Jace Berger listed twice. You mentioned Ricky. He's playing as a midfielder and a defender. He's on here twice. Okay, they got to clean up their stats on the M2 website. Okay, in the chat, Hans, let's say Baltimore's out of playoff running. Do they trade Dos Santos or Diesel? We will need help in the playoffs.
I don't know if they'd give him to us.
I mean, I'm already on the record saying if we're going to trade for defense from a team that's out of the playoffs, I'd like it to be Togba.
Oh, yes. 1,000%. I would love to see Togba. I mean, that would be the ideal trade. Depending on what we gave up for him, obviously, but Togba would be so nice to bring back. I don't know. I don't know if we would necessarily, if we would trade for either one of them, or again, if Baltimore would want to. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily see it happening. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if Baltimore would ever make that trade. But back to St. Louis, because that's the game that we were talking about before we went sideways.
I sidetracked this.
Let's get our predictions in. I mean, I'll take Utica in this one. I feel like they're an offense that, even with our defensive issues, we can outscore. Their defense is porous enough. I'm not going to call it a return to form, but I'll say 8-5 Utica.
Okay. So let's say we drop Kansas City. Just, we drop it, but we drop it gracefully, as we're hoping for. And it's a super close game. It's a very clean game. It's just a super hard fought game that just helps to place us on the same level with where Kansas City is at this time. This one would need to be a statement. This one would have to be a statement game saying, hey, we've played these 3 other teams. We've been close in a couple of them. You know, Milwaukee, yes, it was a bad game, but we still kept close within 2 for the most part. And Tacoma just definitely got away from us in the end. Wow, it's almost like the same prediction that I gave was what just showed up in the chat for the Kansas City game. Amazing. I feel so justified at this point. Literally the exact same.
You can enjoy your company on Thursday. Yeah, you can do that too on Thursday.
Anyway, I'll get. Hey, I mean, there's Wednesday too. I mean, there's trivia. Who do you think I'm going in that with? Come on, man. Anyway, all right, let me get back on track here. So, if we drop that game, win or lose, St. Louis should be a statement game. And given what we've done to teams on a similar track to St. Louis, this needs to be 11-6. Like, statement. Frank gets his statement in. Return to form for the weekend with Coughlin or even Brian. Both would be, if we can have a healthy 100% Brian or a healthy 100% Coughlin, both of these games are very winnable. But the St. Louis one, more so. Just being the Kansas City game would be very difficult. I'm going to let you take this one when you see it in the chat. So yeah, that's 11-6 is what I want to see. I know that's high, but given what we've done with Baltimore and what we've done with Harrisburg, double digits for both, we've been able to hit. We should be able to do the same here. So that's what I'm pulling for. Heavy offense, maybe not as heavy on the defense because, if we're hammering away at them, then we might not necessarily need to be as defensive focused. But definitely, yeah, I really feel like it could be an 11-6. So that's what I'm going with.
And to answer your, did you see this in the chat? Yes. And I think that's a great name. I love puns. The Cheesy Gordy to Crunch.
I laughed at it pretty good too. I thought
a
it
pretty
was
good one.
Out of the ones we've talked about thus far. I like that one the best.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of puns that you could come up with. I'm just drawing blank right now. Besides looking at Merker and being like, get Merkered. Get Merked.
Cheesy Gordy to Crunch.
Yeah, no, I know it's not the same level. But, like I said, I'm...
Very, very different. You tried.
What if you just go as a team name of all the mispronounced named? Just pick a guy and be like, we are actually DeAndre. Or, Endai.
And
Tayu.
And how long have they been around?
Brom. Matt Brom. Who for the past 5 years I thought was Matt Brame, but apparently not.
Yeah, right?
Even though that's what his bio says his name is. Pronounced Brame. But it's Brom, according to his own team's.
Okay, Brom.
Yeah. Boy, you saw a difference in production value this weekend. Milwaukee, love it. They're great. Fantastic. I did chuckle quite a bit as they were like, Rich Grady, one of the best in the league, as he blew that call on Tayu.
Yeah.
Guys, you got. I know you can't criticize him.
Wait,
but you got to find a better way to.
Wait, which call on Tayu? Which one are you talking about?
Where he went down in the box after touching nothing. Like.
Oh, yeah, and they tried to actually call it something.
Grady was like, "That's a blue card."
Absolutely nothing.
Huffman.
Okay, I thought you for a minute there. I thought you were going to go the opposite direction. I was going to drive to your place, come on that camera, and slap you. Because that was a no call. And if you thought that it was a call,
no.
I know where you
My
live.
frustration was like that it was that bad. And then they didn't even look at the video. They're just like, guys, I think we messed up. Now look at the big video board. Nah, man, you're...
And listen to the people. For once, listen to the crowd.
Okay, I get you can see it on the video board, but from a broadcast standpoint, at least fake it. Like, put on the headset and look at the little screen to make it look like you're trying, and not just having conversation going, Rich, what did you see? And his answer is, I don't know.
Stuff.
The same thing that got me chased off a field by a national team 20 years ago. I'm seeing ghosts, guys.
Oh, you know who to call.
Ghostbusters.
Someone else.
We have let this one go on quite a long time.
Yeah, no, we've
Throw in the fact that we had 15 minutes before that trying to figure everything out. But I guess I should say this is the first of all future future episodes being live. So
I tried.
Brain, no work very well.
Arosio.
Con arroz.
All right, take us home.
I mean, you know where to find us on social media. I'll play the thing on our way out. Brandon, you want to tell them what you're doing Thursday night?
All of the Sogs. The Sogs crew is getting together, and we will be joining the one, the only Matt Huber, a.k.a. the FC Fanatic, on In the Box, doing some recap of the league as a whole. When I say we, I mean me, because Sterling's working. So, but I will be joining Matt Huber on In the Box Thursday at 8:30. Do some picks, talk about the league as a whole, and it should be an exceptionally good time. So you should check him out. Check that out for sure. You should check him out anyway, even when I'm not there, because Matt does Huber does a great job. So you should be watching him anyway. But this week, definitely.
Yeah. In the Box Facebook group. Find it. Join it. Have some fun. Bring some corn dogs and cake.
Dogs!
Like I said, we're going to start doing these live every week. Hopefully, you'll join us in the chat. We'll try to interact. I want to thank the Striking Fury podcast, our friends over there, Philly the Doctor, and Panda. They shouted us out on their last episode. If you're not listening, you should. It's very entertaining. And it's one of the best broadcast crews in the... Oh. I had to get my mug. Brandon's got to go get something now. He's off and running. Where to? I'll never know.
Booze.
Nope, he's coming back. Oh, he's got his the Doctor signed jersey from their Black Panther night, right?
Yeah, the
Yes.
superhero night. I mean, now we've got the matching Philly jersey as well, but I know that that's in that closet in our. I had easy access to this one, so no, love those guys. Well, the guys and of course Panda. They're a fantastic crew out there. Someday I am making the trip out there, just as I am planning on making the trip somewhere else. But I really hope to make the trip out there.
Could that somewhere else use a lot of Old Bay seasoning and not know what chicken riggies are?
Don't bring up Riggies. Don't.
Why? Why?
Don't do it. No, because I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about that game.
I love that promotion.
It's cool that we're doing it. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that we're doing a specialty game, but I don't know how I feel about it. It's really.
I mean, I'm not a fan of riggies myself.
I do like riggies.
Just a little sweet for me. But I love the name. I love the mask, the little logo that they did. I just wish we weren't going to be red. It looks like.
Yeah, that'll be weird.
Yeah, that's going to be a weird adjustment. But I love these games like this. One of my favorite promotions that MILB does is where they have like the alternate names. And Syracuse salt potatoes is fantastic.
Yeah. Everybody needs to go food for a game.
You've got like the Rocket City Trash Pandas in minor league baseball. What a great name.
That is great.
You should look up their logo, because I'm telling you, like, some of these MASL teams that are a little generic, as their fans are like, Utica doesn't even have a nickname.
Oh, I want to be the Trash Pandas. And the fact that there was even a mascot. Oh, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I want.
But yeah, so we got the
anyway.
Rookies game on the 21st. All it took for me to get specialty jerseys was to stop asking for them. So you will never hear me ask about a Utica City ugly sweater again until it happens. Do it. And then I think it's the March 3rd game is Utica weekend. So on the website it says there will also be specialty jerseys for that. So we get 2 this year.
Which is more than what we've gotten in recent memory.
My weekend started off so exciting. They were like, here's our Riggies, and now we're going to go get spanked by Milwaukee.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to bring up one more thing about the 21st and the 28th that our fans should know about. That is very possibly, if you can get tickets to both, that is a doubleheader weekend, both weekends. On
those Sundays.
Sunday. Yeah. Utica plays at, I believe, 3 both days. The 21st, I know for sure, is at 3. And I'm almost positive that the 28th is also at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, we only have one more Saturday night game, and it's the final one of the season.
Now, we also have United Krasnik playing on both of those days right after our game. So 21st, we play Texas at 3 o'clock, and Krasnik plays Rochester, our old MASL throughway rivalry. Favorite road trip, yeah. But Krasnik plays Rochester on the 21st and the 28th at home in the Adirondack Bank Center. Get your tickets now. Plan ahead and have a nice double-header Sunday to be able to enjoy and watch some great soccer from both MASL 1 and M2.
I believe those games those tickets are like $11.50 for an individual game.
That is correct, because I just bought mine for at least the first game yesterday, and it was $11.50 a piece plus the $1.50 for fees.
Then,
so calculated out to like $13.
And then what else about those? There's something I was going to say there. The season tickets, which, because Orlando is homeless this year, they don't have a field. All their games are played on the road.
Yep.
They just played their 2 here.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll have to play, I think, 2 more still, which will have to be played here. So there are still 6 home games for the season. So you could get
5.
What?
I believe there's 5.
We've only played 2 home games though, out of 8, because I think it's only a 12-game season. Right?
I could be wrong. I thought I only counted 5 left, but I am probably wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's 5 at the Bank Center. There's 1 at the Nexus Center. So yes, there's 6 home games.
And so that means you can get a season ticket for $63, and you'll still save a couple dollars.
Yep.
Instead of $69, I think it would be to pay for all of those individually.
Close enough, yeah. But yeah, it's 2 Rochester games, 2 Baltimore games, and 2 Orlando games remaining at home, as well as 2 Rochester games away.
To end the season. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I think we've covered everything now. Yes? No? Yes?
And
then
more.
some, yeah. I'll play the outro when we transition here. But otherwise, thank you all for tuning in. Thanks you to those that joined us in the chat. We'll be doing this every week, Monday at 7, unless we have to state otherwise. Go Utica. Thank you for listening to the Keeper's Corner podcast on whatever podcast app you use. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. If you'd like to interact with us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter or X, whatever you prefer to call it. We have a TeePublic shop where you can get UCFC player swag or help support the podcast. Thank you. We appreciate it. And one last thing. Go Utica City.